Samhain is here. Summer is ending. We bring in the harvest. We turn back the clocks. All Hallows Eve is here. We remember our ancestors, and we get up to mischief, and we face up to death. All Saints' Day is upon us, and we name our favorites, and we recount their deeds, and we give thanks for their lives. And then it's All Souls' Day, and we remember our friends and families. We tell the stories, and we smile, and we weep. Halloween is here. Spooks and skeletons, scary stories, tricks and trees. Pumpkins to carve and apples to bob and bonfires to build and rituals to perform. Heaven and earth are close. The dead are very near, and we are caught up in the mystery of living and dying. But what are we afraid of? What is it about death that scares us? What do we think about these days? And how can we talk about our fears? Indeed, death is a part of life. Fear and courage are both needed. Summer is ending, and All Hallows, Halloween, is here. The festival of Samhain, and All Hallows, and All Halloween, and All Saints, and All Souls. Today we are enfolded by those feasts and festivities, that are ancient and new, pagan and Christian, feasts and festivities that celebrate life and death and new life, and the circle and cycle of all seasons. And it's in those feasts and festivity in these days that we gather. These days for the ancient Celts were the days of Samhain, the celebration of summer's end, the harvest, the beginning of a new season, and for the Celts it was a beginning of a new year that was ushered in by the dark time of the year, ushered in by a time of sacred mysteries. For our Celtic ancestors in faith, this time of the year was considered to be a thin time, a time when it was believed that the heavens and the earth touched, so that death and life, the living and the dead, the human world and the spirit world came close and were indeed in that thin place of oneness. A kitchen party, so to speak, a grand reunion where we could hold those that have gone before us and be held by their presence. In ancient times, it was believed that it was during the time of Samhain, the festival of All Souls, that those who had died returned to visit their homes, and those who had died during the year that was previous made their journey to the other world. So people would set fires on top of hilltops, relighting their fires for the winter, but also to frighten away all the evil spirits. And sometimes they would wear masks so that they could be disguised and avoid being recognized by those spirits that were ever present. In the 8th century, Pope Gregory III designated in the feast of Samhain, November 1st, as a time to honor All Saints. And soon All Saints' Day incorporated some of those themes and those practices of Samhain. The evening before, known as All Hallows Eve, Halloween. Hallow, meaning holy. And so feasts and festivals evolved, and November 2nd became All Souls' Day to honor all the faithful departed. And today is also named as Reformation Sunday, a reminder to us that over 500 years ago, Martin Luther nailed that 95 Thesis, and the great Reformation of the Church was begun. And so in these days, there is a merging of the sacred and the secular, of traditions and practices, ancient and new. And we gather on this All Hallows Eve, and heaven and earth mingle as we bring to mind the saints and souls that have touched our lives and blessed us, those that embody all that is holy and good, godness, Christ's light and presence. And so we gather enfolded by a sacred mystery that is life and death and life beyond death. And we gather in this liminal space when we are invited to be deepened in the sense of the here and now, ever aware of the not yet, of that time of God's kingdom, that God's kingdom continuing to unfold on earth as it is in heaven. It is a time of cycles and seasons, of the mystery of life and death and new life. And we gather. As a community of faith, as we gather today, marking All Hallows Eve, we also gather enfolding in our care all those who are moving through times in their lives as they face that mystery of life and death and new life. And so as we gather this morning, we do lift up in our hearts June Hill and the Littler family as they mourn the death of June's sister, Debbie. And we also enfold in our loving care Jeannie McLean and the Wright family as they mourn the sudden death of Jeannie's brother, George. We do pray that life remembered and honored and treasured may be a source of comfort and meaning for all. As you came into worship, you may have quickly noticed that we kept with the All Hallows Halloween theme. I'll follow up from our gathering on Friday evening, and our worship is gathered in that theme. And I do hope that as you came into worship that you received the gift of a fall leaf. It is for us a symbol this day, and in our worship as we mark All Saints and All Souls, we will turn to that symbol of a leaf. And if you didn't receive one, I know there are leaves, basket of leaves in the narthex. It's good to see everyone this morning, and good to see many of you in your All Hallows Eve outfits. Everyone's wearing a mask this morning. That's kind of neat, isn't it? It's easy this year. You make my life so easy. And I know that our younger ones amongst us will be moving downstairs after a time together, and they will be gathering in an All Hallows Eve Halloween gathering. And then they will join us, or rejoin us near the end of worship as we have a special All Hallows Eve musical offering. Thank you for Friday night. Thank you, David and Shelley. Thank you to our choir. Thank you to our organist. Thank you to the audience. It was a great evening. It was thrilling. If I could do a bit of Michael Jackson, I'd do that. It was thrilling to see the church really fill in ways that we haven't, and to be able to gather for live music together under the theme of the Phantom of the Organ, and to celebrate the gift that is our Passavant organ, and to hear that organ being played in a variety of ways. It was a wonderful evening, and if you missed the Phantom on Friday night, you'll have a bit of a treat at the end of worship as we have an encore from our evening on Friday. As we gather, I invite you to take note of the announcements in the bulletin. A reminder that next Sunday is the first Sunday of the month, which will be our Remembrance Day gathering. And as we gather on Remembrance Day Sunday, we will gather in remembrance as we share in that table of remembrance, and in the Feast of Remembrance as we gather for communion. Again, first Sunday of the month is our time when we intentionally remember the needs of our food bank and our grab-and-go pantry, and also fund script ordering. So in your bulletin is your green order form for fund script, and that also connects to the announcement on the back of your bulletin for a Tisket, a Tasket, as we seek to have another gift card basket for 2021 And Funstrip may be a way for you to support Tisket and Tasket by buying an extra card and then donating to the fundraiser. And if you are not comfortable in using Funstrip, then local merchants have been, again, saying to me already that they're very pleased that people are coming in and buying gift certificates from them to be used towards this fundraiser. So the information is at the back of the bulletin, and Patty's up front if you have any questions around that later today. As we gather together this morning, we do always take a moment to celebrate those special occasions that are happening in the life of our church community. Our life of our church community expands beyond these walls through our live stream feed, and I know a couple people who join us regularly through our live stream have celebrated a birthday and are celebrating a birthday. Nancy Grimm, Sally's mom, celebrated a birthday on Friday, so a happy birthday to Nancy. And Carla Morse, who is often one of our Facebook posts, will be celebrating a birthday this coming week, so a happy birthday to her. And today, this very day, we actually have a Halloween birthday. Zachary. Zach is 4 years old, a Halloween birthday. Imagine a whole celebration just for you. And so we wish him a very happy Halloween birthday and lift up our voices in celebration. And so we gather in this place. We gather in these days where the past and the present and the future mingle. And we are reminded that all is hallowed and all is holy. Tom Sherman writes, "They're all around us, aren't they? Those precious drops of grace sprinkled in our lives." The love of God, the presence of God, the mystery of God, the light of God. For wherever we are, God is here. Today, let the sights and smells of fall's harvest welcome us. Let the warmth and friendship and fun gather us. Let our spirits be filled with the spirit of those we name as saints. Let the stories and memories rise in us. Tonight, let the darkness enfold us. Let the stars twinkle and shine above us. Let the stillness quiet us. Let the flickering candles remind us of God's light within us. Today, tonight, tomorrow, may wonder and mystery grow within us. Let us be ever aware that God is in our midst. Jesus said, "Blessed are." Or perhaps he said, "God-like are." Or maybe, "known by God are." Or even, "happy are." There are many kinds of saints, but all of us is someone who is known by God. All of us is someone who can make God known. Let us be gathered in prayer. We are happy, God, as we come to offer this time of worship, for we are happy to be here. We are happy, God, as we sing and pray, as we listen, for we are happy to be here. We are happy, God, for we love you and know you love us, and we want to love you more. We are happy, God, as we learn more and more about you and your way of love revealed by Jesus. We are happy, God, for we are your happy people. Happy All Hallows Eve. You need to get into the spirit, folks. It's upon you. It's a whole day, All Hallows Eve, moving to what we call Halloween. As I said, as we gathered, part of a number of feasts and festivities of this time of the year of All Saints and All Souls, a time when it's said that that space between what is beyond us and what is here is so very, very thin. And so ghosts and ghoulies and people in masks and dressed up move amongst us, reminding us of mystery and wonder. The Feast of Samhain, an ancient festival. For some people, the Celts, thousands of years ago, this was considered their new year. Summer had ended, the fall harvest was just over, moving into the darker times and darker days of winter. It was a new year. A thin time when they believed that those who had died came alive in some mysterious way, and that they felt their presence ever closer than they do in any time of the year. And so this is the time that we also name as Halloween, and we mix all those traditions, those ancient ones and those new ones. And one of them, and thank you to my pumpkin carvers, is the carving of pumpkins. Anyone carve pumpkins for their Halloween? Anyone put a light in their pumpkin? Do you know that originally, when the Feast of Samhain and that tradition of carving something that came from the ground, from the harvest, came especially from Ireland. Those great Irish folks. Aren't they smart? But did you know what? At that time in Ireland, one thing that did not grow, they grew lots of things, but one thing that they didn't grow was the Irish had no pumpkins. So they carved, what do you think they carved? Turnips. They carved turnips. They might have carved a potato or two too, why not? but they carved turnips. And it really was when those traditions came to North America, that pumpkins became the things to carve. And they put a light in their turnip. And the light was to welcome the ancestors. It was to say, welcome, come home, come and visit, come and let your spirit move among us. So welcome the ancestors. But it was also, light was also in the pumpkin for another reason. In our tradition, who doesn't like light? Vampires don't like light. So the light was also to ward off the evil spirits. To say, evil spirits, stay away from this house. But good spirits, come home. And so we continue to light candles to welcome the good spirits to our doors and to our homes. But we also light candles in our church. Candles are an important reminder to us that God is with us, that the presence of Jesus the Christ is with us as we gather. And also that light, that God light, is not only on a table, but it's also in each of us. We are people who are called to let that God light shine, so that others know that God is indeed at work in our world, that God's love is alive in us and through us. So maybe tonight, as you light your pumpkin candle, or put a light in your window, or turn on some lights, remind yourself that God's light also shines within you. And so we're going to sing a song. That's a great song to remind us about God's light, this little light of mine. And as we sing that, I know some of our goose and ghoulies and princesses and warriors and everything, ninjas, are going to make their way downstairs for a Halloween gathering. And we'll see you later. I see Joan and Dorothy going that way. Which way are you going, girl? You can go downstairs this way and meet them, or I see some going that way. Look at those costumes. The good spirits amongst us. Our United Church of Canada affirms again and again that in life, in death, In life beyond death, God is with us. We are not alone. Paul, in his biblical letter to the Romans, expresses that affirmation in this way. He writes, "What can separate us from the love of God in Christ Jesus? Shall pain? Shall despair? Shall time? Shall tears? Shall evil? Shall peril? Shall life? Shall death? Shall things to come? No. No. What can separate us from the love of God in Christ Jesus? There's only one answer. One answer forever. Nothing. No thing can separate us from the love of our God. A few years ago, in his address for All Saints' Day, Pope Francis urged all Christians to, quote, "seek holiness not by accomplishing extraordinary things, but by following the path of the Beatitudes, without half measure in everyday lives." Pope Francis continued to say, "We are united not only with the saints of the calendar, but also with our next door saints." Our next door saints. Our next pew saints. Our next desk in the office saints. Our next person in the grocery line saint. Our next car at the stoplight saint. Our person right next to us saint. The extraordinary, ordinary saints. The extraordinary saints of history, the extraordinary saints of our time, the ordinary saints of our lives. Those people who all have been people of change, for they have changed us. Those folks we name as saints are people who have touched our lives and changed our lives. They've made an imprint on us, or maybe our world, everyone they met. Another writer, Jan Richardson, says, "The saints are those who opened themselves to the ways of God and sought to work in and through their lives the particular gifts of God." Next door saints. The Beatitudes of the Gospel story is the traditional scripture reading for All Saints' Day. They are words that speak to us, for they challenge us and invite us to be those next door saints, to be those people of God that God created us to be. This morning I invite us to open our hearts and ears to a modern adaptation of the biblical Beatitudes called the Beatitudes. Blessed are the poor, who do not trust in status or riches. Blessed are those who mourn, those who grieve over the injustice in our world. Blessed are the meek, those who get angry but never aggressive. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, those who seek justice. Blessed are the merciful, who are compassionate to everyone in need. Blessed are the pure in heart, who are wholehearted in their desire to do what is right. And blessed are the peacemakers, who work for peace and justice in a world at war with itself. And blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness, those who suffer for just causes. Blessed are they, and blessed are we. All Saints' Day and the following day, All Souls' Day, it felt appropriate that as we gather in this thin days, this thin time, that we pause and acknowledge the saints, those who we name, who we honor as the saints of our lives. The big S saints, so to speak, and the small saints. Those who have not only made and left a mark on our world, but more importantly, have left their mark on us and in us. Today, as we gather, we bring to heart and mind that they are still part of us. That beyond our horizons, beyond our boundaries, beyond our understanding, they are indeed held in God's embrace. Today, we bring to heart and mind that we, who we are today, has a lot to do with the saints of our lives, with those who have touched ours. God does not ask us to forget those that we've known and loved, but rather we're asked to hold in our sadness and grief, our loss and our longing, a depth of gratitude. Gratitude for those lives that have shaped our lives. Gratitude for those hands that have held our hands. Gratitude for those voices that spoke gently or perhaps a bit loud. Those voices that have inspired us. Gratitude for eyes that have beheld us. Gratitude for ears that heard us. Gratitude for lives and love that has inspired us. Gratitude for saints, those living and those gone before us, who have enriched our lives. We believe that those saints who have made their journey and are now held in God's embrace are also held in our hearts. And we trust that one day there will be that great kitchen party, that great Cayley of the Celts, where the heavens and the earth mingle and we are all together, where we will meet them in a place where there is never any farewells. As you came in to worship, I hope and trust you received a leaf. If you're joining us online and didn't see my invitation to get a leaf, I just invite you in this time to hold the image of a fall leaf in your heart's eye. And I invite you to just take a moment to hold your leaf in your hands. At this time of the year, as the leaves fall, we are able to see in the leaves the beauty that we may not see at other times of the year. That beauty that sometimes we fail to see or notice. But the colors of this time of the year for us in the Northern Hemisphere draw us to this gift and beauty in God's creation. And so it is on All Saints and All Souls Day that we see human beauty and human holiness that much clearer. Look at the leaf that you're holding. It's unique. Each leaf has its own unique shape and color and texture. Indeed, each leaf holds within it its own story. Its story, which is unique, but also connected to the greater mystery and story of creation. Touch the leaf, feeling its contours, noticing its marks. See its beauty for what it is. Look at the pattern. Remarkable, isn't it? But notice that leaves can also have rough edges. Each leaf holds within it its own scars and bruises and tears. They are the marks of a life well lived. But notice how these marks, these scars, these bruises, these tears do not spoil the leaf. In fact, these marks and scars and tears add to its beauty. Once these leaves were part of a tree, and they depended on that tree for its very life. But now, separated from the tree, still its life and its beauty remains. Separated from the tree, it is still a part of creation and Creator. May these leaves remind us of ourselves and those who have made us who we are, the saints of our lives, the extraordinary, ordinary, next-door saints of our lives, those who have touched our life, those whose story we know so well, those whose pattern of life was remarkable to us, those who also bore the tears and the tears and the marks and the scars of life, but those whose beauty remains. Some of them had rough edges. Some of them were smooth. All of them saints to us and for us. This day we are reminded that we are part of a greater mystery than we know. We are part of God's eternal now, in this liminal space of being present, but also of the not yet we know we are held. We're reminded that the beauty of life lives on. The glory of life never fades. These leaves have fulfilled their purpose. They've done their work. And so holding the leaves this day, we hold those who have fulfilled their purpose, who did their work, who embodied God's work, hallowed work, holy work. Saints, big S and small, those we give thanks. For they are with us, and we are with them. Their lives, their loves, their light, enfolding us, warming us, inspiring us, guiding us, welcoming us, sending us out. They are with us. They do not leave. They are not gone. They look upon us still. They walk among the valleys now. They stride upon the hill. Their smile is in the summer sky. Their grace is in the breeze. Their memories whisper in the grass. Their calm is in the trees. Their light is in the winter snow. Their tears are in the rain. Their merriment runs in the brook and their laughter in the lane. Their gentleness is in the flowers. They sigh in autumn leaves. They do not leave. They are not gone. In life, in death, in life beyond death, we are not alone. We are touched by eternity. We are enfolded by light and love. Thanks be for all that is holy, for those who are holy to us and for us, for all that is held. Blessed be, blessed are we. Blessed are they and blessed are we. Blessed are, or perhaps happy are, or as I like the translation, godlike are. We are called to live fully, to love wastefully, to be the people of God, ones who embody the light of Christ in our community, in our world, in our homes, in our schools, in our workplaces, in the grocery store, in the coffee shops, along the main streets. We are called to live fully and to love wastefully, to offer all that we are and all that we are able to offer. Thank you for being the people of God. Thank you through your loving and living, your generosity that makes a difference. Thank you for the gifts that you offer each Sunday and the gifts that you offer each day, gifts that truly support the work and ministry that we share. Your time, your energy, your passion. You're willing to say yes, and sometimes you're willing to say, no, I can't do that, but I can do this. All of these things enrich us and the ministry we share. And so it is together we give thanks. Singer and songwriter and poet Carrie Newcomer, in a blog a couple of years ago, wrote a blog about All Saints' Day. And indeed, she has a song that's called All Saints' Day. But these words, for me, kind of captured some of the deeper meaning and the importance of these days, and I wanted to share them today. It is traditionally believed that on All Saints' Day, the veil between the worlds is at its thinnest. If this is true or not, I do not know. But I do appreciate a day when we consider how closely we live each and every day to so many great mysteries. The emotional month of October is past. The bustle of December has not yet begun. But in November, we seek out warm spaces, some quiet place to be. We breathe deeply as the last leaves of autumn let go, and next year's seeds begin their long rest for the winter. These are the moments when we sense something important, something true, something just past our range of understanding, that all things will surely pass, only to begin again. All things will surely pass, only to begin again. Scary. As we move into our time of blessing and the ending parts of today's worship, with the theme of All Saints and All Souls, I couldn't fit other pieces into the worship, but I want to remind people that this evening, COP26, which is the Global Climate Change Conference, is happening in Glasgow, Scotland. And so, as you may be listening to the news, world leaders are beginning to arrive in Glasgow, and some very important discussions and decisions are being made around our planet and around how we will attend to climate change. And I was hearing something this week that it's not about us saving the planet, it's about allowing the planet to save us. Listen in new ways so we hear what the planet is saying to us. And so a reminder to hold our global leaders in our prayers and in our thoughts as we hear the news and as they gather this week for COP26. So on this All Hallows Eve, we go into our day and into our night and into the days ahead, which are holy days of saints and souls, of ghouls and goblins, of spirits good, of spirits enfolding us and embracing us. A reminder that also after our song blessing, just to remain in your seats for a special seasonal offering by our choir. All our stories, all our memories,
Safe now,
all our sadness and all of our laughter,
safe now,
all our holding on, all our releasing, those we have loved, those we love, all our living and all our loving, safe now in God's hands. Into this day and into the night, we go enfolded by the blessing of God. I was working in my lab late one night when my eyes beheld an eerie sight, for my monster from his slab began to rise, and suddenly, to my surprise,
He did the mash.
he did the monster mash.
The monster mash.
It was a graveyard smash.
He did the mash.
It caught on with a flash.
He did the mash.
He did the monster mash.
Whoa.
From my laboratory in the castle east to the master bedroom where the vampires sleep, the ghouls all came from their humble abodes to get a jolt from my electrodes.
He did the mash.
They did the monster mash,
The monster mash.
and it's a graveyard smash.
They did the mash.
It caught on with a flash.
They did the mash.
They did the monster mash.
Whoa.
The zombies were having fun. The party had just begun. The guests included Wolfman, Dracula, and his son. The scene was rocking, all were digging the sounds. Igor was on his cane, backed by fading hounds. The coffin bangers were about to arrive with their backup group, crate digging fine.
They played the mash.
They played the monster mash.
The monster
And
mash.
it's a graveyard smash.
They did the mash.
It caught on with a flash.
They played the mash.
They played the monster mash.
Whoa.
Now out from his coffin rack, voice did ring. It seems he was troubled by just one thing. He lifted the lid, took his distance, and that never happened to my Pennsylvania twist.
It's not a mash.
It's now the monster mash.
The monster mash.
And it's a graveyard smash.
It's not a mash.
It caught on with a flash.
It's not a mash.
It's now the monster mash.
Whoa.
Now everything is cool,